I've rotated a bit of a picture. That's going to be like the back bit of a river and that, some bits here, and this is going to be a path walking round towards back. Right, let me give this a squirt today. Wet all my paper, give it a squirt. Right, sans pan. Right, let's get some blue paint, quite a dark blue, an ultramarine or something like that will be good for this. Start at the top of your page, bring it down. I'm going to go all the way through the lot with this, and then I think what I'm going to do all the way through the lot and bring it up front bottom as well. That's it. Bring it up from there into there, and that's come down from the top. Dab more in this top. That's it. And bring it down. See what I mean? So that's called a variated wash. So it's stronger there and it's stronger there. Gets lighter in the middle. Right, now I need some real background trees now. So get a bit of I've just got a really, it's at the bottom of my palette, it's just a really mucky yellow. So it's yellow with bits of bontumber and all sorts in it. So just, it's come out green, look. Just look how mucky that green is. Try and get something like that, so it's like a mucky green. So if you get some yellow and blue to mix your green, and then that should do the trick. There, and I want that misty looking. Tell you what, I'm just going to put my horizon line back in there, so I can see it, and there, and there, and there, because it's just disappearing on me. That's sound. In fact, I might even pull down into that. Nice. There. And that as well. There. So that's that done. Now, just basically want the same, but a thicker, darker colour now. So I'll just get basically more paint on my brush, I think. Put a bit more muck in it. I've added a bit more bontumber to it. I'll put a bit more yellow in as well. Right, let me have a look. So let's have something about. I want this to be soft. Just going to give that a tiny little squirt just there. I still want this to be soft. So I'll put a tiny squirt on just so this paint on here just like mixes in, you know what I mean? That's it. Oh, wow, that looks good. That'll do me. Come up there. Across here. Say a bit there like that, something like that, across, and that. So that's another layer in, look, what's a bit stronger than my original one. Get my horizon line back in again. I'm just mainly putting that horizon line in, so I won't forget where it is. I can just see that bit there, so it comes round there, I've disappeared here, I can't even see it. I'll just pop it in like that so I know where it is. Right, that's that. Now there's one more layer now, what's a lot closer. Let me just take, if I pop it on there like that, see. Right, there's a much closer layer now. This is a really dark green, yellow and blue for green. And then I've mixed a bit of Payne's grey in, a bit of bontumber in for this. And I'll tell you what, even on this I do want the edge soft, so I'm just going to give that a little squirt just to keep this edge soft. And that's it, and that can come down there like that. That edge isn't quite soft enough. I'm not too worried about that, what's dripping down. It's not going to bother me. That's better, nice thick colour though. There, that's where I'm after. And then this is a lot closer than the other stuff. So you can see, hopefully 3 layers now, you can just see that background layer. And there's this layer here. Let's go up there with a big one. And then that's that big one and there. So I did have a reference photo, but I've painted it like a practice painting on it, just to see what's what. And now I'm just using that instead of my reference photo. And even this already is looking a lot different to my other one. And I'm not bothered. I'm liking it, because I'm not bothered about following out exact. I'm just enjoying my son. I'll tell you what I might do. You just get a damp brush, clean brush. Just have it a minute. I'm just gonna take them splashes out. That's it. I'll tell you what I could do actually. While that's wet, I could pop in some of these reflections. There's going to be reflections in here, so let's pop some of them in. I think I'll mainly just do these. Them distant ones be too far back, they won't really reflect, so I'll just do them close ones. There, so that's my reflections. I've got to try and control them now. I don't particularly want them leaking everywhere, so I'll tell you what, I'll turn it upside down, paint upside down for a bit, and that'll stop that running all the way down and making a right mess. So, I'll tell you what I'll do, I'll get that path in, so that can go in quite strong. That's just Bont Umber, Payne's Grey, and I haven't cleaned my brush, so that's why it's got that green look to it. Right, you know what I think I'm going to do? Air dry, then it'll stop that running everywhere, and then I can ton it back right way around in it. Right. That'll do, so long as it's not dripping everywhere. See that bombly effect? That's because I'm on cheap cartridge paper, but that'll disappear as it dries more, that'll disappear, so you not see that. But you can save a fortune, especially if you're beginning and you're not selling them or anything. You can save a fortune by painting on a cartridge paper. It's miles cheaper. So that's why I thought I'd do that, so you lot can see. Right, let me think now. I want... let's start building up some of these layers down here then. So that's a bit of a thing. There's a bit there, and a bit there, and there. That's something like that. Into there. Bit of path stuff and that. Into these bushes are quite dark at bottom. See, I'm going to show you how to blend these bushes in now to soften them in, just like that with your finger, bit of finger painting. That'll just soften them into that. What's there? Look at that. Very nice. Right. I've got one thing I want to... Let me move that back up now, fill that bit in. Not that it matters, that'd be behind a mount if I were to mount it. What I'll not be doing, but if I was, you know what I mean? Right, I just want a dark bit in here. I'll finger paint this to blend it in a minute. But just there, I want a little branch coming across there. Like that. One more in there, that's it. There, that'll do. And a bit of finger painting to blend that in. There, lovely jubbly. What's that? Right, what else we got? Right, let's alter this colour a bit. I'll put a bit more brown into it. Oh, this side, yeah, there is actually another layer of trees on that side there. So I'll stick that in. Let's say a little layer there, something like that. Let's say another little extra layer, shall we? That's alright, isn't it? See, that's not in the painting, but it don't matter. I can have whatever I want, you know what I mean? What did Bob Ross used to say? It's my world, I'll do what I want in it. Alright, alright, that's what he used to say. It's his world, he'll do what he wants. Well, exactly. Right, I've mixed a bit, I've just mixed some red in with this. in with that green, because red will take that green away and send it more brown. So that's what I've done. I've whacked a bit of red in and it sent it more brown. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Just a little bit more mud at the bottom of there using that brown. That's it. That'll be a bit more muddy. But I've got to be careful because I don't want to bring this in too close, because this bit's the close bit. So if you're not sure, if someone's looking a bit close, sometimes if you soften the edges, it takes it back a bit. I'll tell you what I could do. Just in these here, if it's still wet enough. No, it's not wet enough. I'm going to put some little scratches in, but it's dried a bit. Not to worry. Right. I'll tell you what I'll do. Let's get this out a bit now. That brown colour. Oh, yeah, that's nice. I've got loads of paint now. That brown colour. Let's add a bit of that blue in with it just to mix it a bit. Bit of that red. Bit of red, light red. So I've got 3 colours on my brush now, and I'm just going to come in here. Got to work fast with this. Come in there like that. Rocks. See how I'm doing that? Credit card, just scraping edges over to make it look like rocks. Then if you want some grasses in there, a lot of people do this with a fingernail. I ain't got no fingernails. Well, I have got fingernails, but they're just not very long. So I do them like that. See? And then you can get like some extra bits like that. Yeah, like that. Actually, could do that green. A bit more green. There. Some extra bits there, look. Good, innit? So some there like that. Oh, a bit more water in it. I did a file do. Don't go too mad. There, that'll do. You can get carried away if you're not careful. Right, that's nice. Right, let's back over here. Got to remember, this is getting further away. So I suppose really, as I'm getting less and less paint on my brush, it might look further away anyway. Let's use this to scrape. So you can use what you want scraping rocks in. I'm using edge of this now, look. I've got a brush with the end. Can you see that chisel? I've got to work fast actually, showing you that, and I need to go fast before this dries. But yeah, you can. That's a good little tool, that one. Got a chisel end on that, look, can you see that? In it. Good little thing there is. Right. Shall I just dampen my brush a tiny bit? I'm going to add a bit of extra blue in as I'm getting further away. Just come in there and just sort of something like that. There, that's a bit of my path in there and all that. That's where we're going to be walking, or where someone would be walking. You can't actually walk down here, it's just a picture. So when I say it's where we're going to be walking, it's not. It's not where we're going to be walking at all. It's just me being daft. Tell you what I could do. If I just dampen the edge of that brush and just dab it a bit. Right, if I do that, I wonder if I can whack a few rocks in there. Now I've just re-wet it. Maybe, I don't know if this will work or not. Sometimes you just try something. If it walks, it walks. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And it has its walk, look. So I've got a few little rocks back there and all. See, that one back there is probably dried a bit again already. There, that looks alright, doesn't it? And then I could even though it's miles back, probably still stick a couple of them, just the longer grass is what's just showing. Not too much of that, it's miles away. Here we are. Oh, wow, it's coming together now, isn't it? Look. Let's get some more of this path in. A bit of dry brush work here. See how it's missing little bits? That's the dry brush work. I love dry brush work. That again, it's a bit harder to do on cartridge paper. You do that on a rough watercolour paper or a medium watercolour paper, and that you get a good effect. But it's got quite a good effect even on here. And this, miles cheaper. Always got to think about everything. If you're just starting and you're not selling your pictures, I'd advise Try a bit of cartridge paper, because it's a good paper. I've gone a bit, put a bit of green in there. Now, have I got too carried away? That looks a bit too strong and stands out a bit. I'll soften it with my fingers. That's better. Well, you know what, that's not bad now. That's not bad at all. I'll leave that. I'm going to darken it back again, but I think that looks alright now. Right. That bit is a bit closer. So a little bit of that green in here and all, look. So pull these edges in slightly closer, and I'll soften it again. Dead subtle that, but it's just pulling these edges in slightly closer than that background bit in there. And maybe put some bits of green in here, look, in some of this stuff. Bits of grasses on edge of this path, look. It's going to just pull that a little bit closer, and as I go back there, same again, I'll just soften with my finger. As I come back forwards, it's alright. And in fact, where's my little grassy one again? I could stick a few more grasses into that like that. There. Not like that. Wicked. Wicked. Alright, so that's that. Alright, now then. I'll tell you what. I think I might add a bit more on them reflections, you know. They're not looking very strong, are they? Let's say go at that. Let's make out. I'm not going to wash my brush. I hardly ever wash my brush. I don't like wasting paint. So I'm just going to take that colour, what were on my brush there, anyway, and I'm going to add a bit of Payne's Grey. I've said a bit, quite a lot of Payne's Grey and Bont Umber. So look at that. Tell you what I'll do. I'll put an hard line on there for that. That'll bring that bit a bit closer. And a bit of an hard line here on that bit there. And then that probably looks a bit too brown. There, something like that. Just to get them trees in. That's not bad at that. There. And I think what I'm going to do, get my softening brush. Yeah, you guessed it. I'm going to do a bit of softening in it. Bit of softening with my softening brush. Call it, like I've said this a zillion times before, I call it my softening brush. It's just a brush with damp water on it. It's not a special brusher out. Just clean that again. I'm just going to go like that way. Oh, that's it. You get a few little lines here. Oh, that's nice. I like that. That'll do me. Right. Right, what we got now? Just got some bits and bobs to put in now. I'm going to give that whole thing a dry. That bobbling effect, I don't know if you can see it on there, that it'll not look that bad when it's thoroughly dry. You don't always get it. Some cartridge paper is slightly thinner than others, but you don't always get it. But I had to saturate my paper for this painting, so that hadn't helped. But if you get it, don't panic. It'll honestly, this will look alright when it's done. And it's thoroughly dried. Right, let's get some now. I've got a bit of blue, a bit of Payne's Grey and a bit of Bont Umber. I think it's giving me like a bit of a greenish colour. And all I'm doing now is I'm just popping in a bit of a tree. Tell you what, I'm going to whiten that down, make that a bit thinner, and then sort of there like that. I'm holding my brush to, I don't know if you can see, I'm holding my brush towards end of my brush, so I lose a bit of accuracy, but my brush wobbles more and I sort of get a good little tree. But it's up to you if you want to do that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. There. See, like, I'm holding my brush like that, you see. That's why they make them long, so you can sit back and see what you're doing. Right, so let's repeat that down here. When I say repeat it, don't be wiggling, it ain't got to be exact. Just a rough, any sort of rough thing in here is just gonna, it'll look good. Ain't got to get, no one's gonna double check that that's perfect to that, just as long as it looks like a reflection and you're enjoying your scene in it. If you is enjoying this, what I'm doing now, use your BRIAN and prescribe to my channel. Hit that prescribe button. Well, don't hit it. Just sort of press it gently, you know what I mean? Look after your stuff. Don't hit it. Press it gently. There we are, another one there. I've still got my hand right at the back of my brush. There we are, reflection there. I'm not looking at my other one, checking it's exact. I'm just putting a rough thing in. There's this one there, look, a bit of a, I say look, you can't see the picture I'm working from. There's one there, a bit of a squiggly one like that. Same again, get it in here. And then there's this big in here. Quite big in this one. Get a bit more water on my brush, it's breaking up a bit. Can you see it? We're breaking up a bit. There we are. Soften it down with a bit more water. There. None of this stuff's got to be dead accurate. See, like that bit there, oh, that's breaking up. Don't worry about any of that. It's alright. Just use your BRIAN and press your prescribe button really gently. There, that's not bad at all, is it? Obviously, we ain't got no reflection in to do on that one. Where's my paintbrush gone? Are they? Where? I've got that much rubbish lying about. If you get your work area clean, that's always a good thing. But that's me not practicing what I'm preaching, because my work area is a right mess. Right, so I'm looking at that, and that's looking pretty good. I think all I need now on that, a waterline. You can lift paint out for a waterline, but because I'm on this cartridge paper, I find it easier just to use a bit of gouache, white gouache. So I'm just going to do that. Right, stick my brush. Get some white gouache mixed up. It's near enough straight from tube. I have added a tiny bit of water to it, but it's as good as straight from tube. Right. Right, let's have a look at this. Into there. Oh, that's strong. Don't forget though, this fades right back when you're. This will not stay. I might even dry this so you can see just how much it fades back. Some bits in there, some bits around there, little bits, not too much in there probably. A bit there. Let's have a line coming through there, or something like that. If you want your edge softening, you can just do that one. Try and always keep your lines horizontal. If they're slanting, it's no good. Let's have another line there. Like that. There. Same again. Like that's not completely vertical, but it nearly is. It's nearly vertical, not quite. I think it's sort of slanting down a bit, but you just do your best, you know what I mean? You do your best. You don't go getting a square piece and setting it on. Yeah, that's slanting down quite a bit. What I could do is just alter that and do something like that with it. That's slanting down a bit too much. But it's where the wind hits your paper, and it actually, you tend to do them as a straight line, but in reality it does ripple it more like this. So that's a thicker one. Because that's thicker, it's get it more depth and it's straight now. So do that. You know, if you get one and you think that will wonky, it will coming down like that, it'll look ridiculous. So do that, especially if it's a closer one. Another thing you can do is let it dry, and this will nearly disappear, and just straighten it up then. I'm going to give it a quick blast just so you can see just how much it fades back. See, I've got a right thick blob on that bit, so that bit hasn't faded back much, neither has that. So basically the bits what I wanted to fade back a bit aren't done because I've got thicker paint on. The bit at front there, what I wanted strong because it's closer, has faded back. So what I'll do, I'll just get some more paint on. And then I've put a really thick paint on this time, so this will not fade back now. There, that's better. That won't fade back, I promise you. I've got a great big thick blob on my brush, so that'll be sound. Right, now then, let's get a, you know what, let's put Peter and Paul in, just start looking for worms. So I'll stick them in there, just dead small. Peter and Paul, and I need a bit of dirt on it. B-D, Bertie D. So I'll pop that. Where shall I pop it? Pop it there. B-D, Bertie D. There you are. Job's a good one. Yeah, that looks alright, that, doesn't it? Nice. Not that, I wouldn't say nice, simple one. It's not that simple. It's a bit of a tricky one, really. But I've made it simple, innit? And go at that. See if you can do it. And if you're using this cartridge paper, see that bobbling's nearly disappeared now. Looks alright, doesn't it? Yeah, it looked like a disaster at start. So don't worry, if you're using that cartridge paper, I frame stuff with this cartridge paper, and once it's in a frame you can't even tell, and some professional artists use it, they just prefer it. Owen Crawshaw used to use cartridge paper all the time, and well, I wish I were as good as Owen Crawshaw, put it that way. So it's not like it necessarily something that's dirt cheap and nasty. It's dirt cheap and good. It's a good paper. But it don't matter if you do loads of messes. Don't matter on this cheap stuff. If you're rolling in money, it don't matter anyway, does it? Anyway, I'll see you on beach, innit?